Okay.
It wasn't nobody in the stands like that. They was going against the Pacers.
Really?
Yeah, but the stands was not. It
Interesting.
wasn't. They was like
Cause
dry.
they
That's
balling too.
crazy.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. Cause they
They
balling.
had some people out there, but not like pack.
Okay.
But
Mm.
it was a tight game. They wound up beating the Pacers, and Embiid I think carried it. He had like 35.
Bless you.
Bless you. He had like 35 points.
Embiid
Yeah,
was
but
balling.
the kids, the rookies looked like they kids, like babies.
Oh yeah,
Are they like
Mhm.
19?
they do look very very young.
Extremely young. It was one, I think he was 77, his number. I can't remember his name, but I said, that's a baby. And he get like 3 million.
Yeah, like what?
He get like 3 mil a year. I'm talking about that's a baby. Yeah, he got he get
A baby with a grown
Mhm.
man bank account.
a grown man, bigger than grown man. But it was cool. I had a great time. I was up in the sky the arena sky box seats and
Mhm.
stuff. It was a
Mhm.
great view. I had great company. I had a great time. And I don't be
Nice.
getting out much.
Mhm.
But
Nice.
that's what I do want to ask you though. Do they are you know how back when Kobe and all of them was getting drafted from high school, they had stopped that and said you had to go to college for a certain amount of time.
Mhm.
Are they doing that again?
I think they might have.
Cause this, like I said, this kid only he wasn't even college age. He was like,
Yeah, I think they might have. Because how old was Bronny when he went?
Bronny. I
hmm.
don't know. how
Because
old
he
That's what I'm
came
saying.
out.
They
Yeah.
stopped it. And
Well,
then
he
it was
he did
done.
do some college, but there are
Right.
some players I think that went
And then just got drafted
yeah,
from.
straight
But
from high school.
yeah, that was my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you? What about you?
Oh man, I'm a
Oh
little
man, you gotta start with. Oh
perturbed.
man, huh?
I'm a little perturbed
Yeah. What's up?
because I had plans for today, just the stuff that I was going to do, like my little, running around,
Mhm.
some Christmas shopping and all that. And then I spent my day retwisting my son's locks.
Mm.
Yeah.
So just spent my whole day in doing his hair. And my mom often laughs because she's like, "Yeah, you wanted a girl, and now you doing your son's hair."
How long did it take you?
And I'm still kind of new because I had to teach myself from YouTube University. I learned how
Locks?
to
Mhm.
retwist his locks.
Did you use a product? A product? Any product in there?
Well, the lock gel.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we, back in August we went on vacation, and he had some girl had did his starter locks, and he jumped in the pool and jumped out, and his hair was all puffed up. So you can't get starter locks
Oh
wet
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
because they have not locked yet.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
he was like, Mom, what am I gonna do about my hair? Can you fix it? So when we were on vacation, I watched a couple videos and I
Mhm.
learned how to retwist it back.
Yeah. They got some wax or something that you could put some.
Yeah,
type
you can do it too, but now
Mm.
they have different things. Like people are doing it like either with no lock and gel or mousse, or
Mhm.
it's a couple ways that you can do it. But even
You
like
figured it out.
even like a crochet needle, like
Mhm.
you can do it that way. So
Mhm.
it's just like, but I'm still really slow at it. So some people can do it in like 2 hours, and I feel like it's taking me like 4 hours,
Mhm.
like 4 or 5
Mhm.
hours. I'm like, why am I still? I'm like, I'm blaming it on his big head, but then it's still like I'm slow.
But
So,
you know what happens? His friends who got locks will be like, "Yo, my mom do them,"
Yeah,
and
my
then
mom-
somebody
yeah.
else, and you'll be like, "Yo,
They
I
gonna
got
start
charge
calling.
them."
Hey, mom.
yeah, exactly.
And it become a good mistake,
Exactly.
though.
Yeah. And then I'm hearing about the people that do it and the money that they're making. And I'm like, I'm doing this for free.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Can't charge baby boy.
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. But he's saving money and I'm
Mhm.
wasting time, losing time.
No doubt.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
What about you, C?
Yeah,
All right, going
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Just don't be like it's busy. Come
It's
on.
all
we-
my days is always busy, man. Getting ready. It's cold out there. It's supposed to snow or something tomorrow, right? I'm
Mhm.
hearing that
Tonight.
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 Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
So y'all better stay warm out there. You better bundled up right before the sun goes down. Shout out to Freeway.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, it's cold out there, and so y'all better make sure that y'all bundle up and, get ready for this snow. I don't think it's a storm, but they prepare. Philly, we always get snow, so we're not too worried about it. So if we was in, say, for example, I don't know, Virginia or somewhere like that, soon as they get snow, they get terrified. We're like,
Yeah.
only got 4 inches.
Oh,
That's it.
Atlanta's really bad.
Atlanta, yeah.
Philly to me, they different. They
Yeah.
soft. Like when we do get a little snow, everybody at the market, like, you only got a little sprinkle. This ain't the same.
Sprinkle.
Yeah, this ain't the
Mhm.
same breed.
Yeah.
So when we do get snow, these people, they act like they don't know how to drive, and
Mhm.
Mm-mm.
It's all good though.
Not the winters of 95 and 96.
Ooh.
Yeah.
yeah, see, yes,
Yes.
you remember that,
And you still had to go to school.
Oh my god!
Well, they say that's coming back. They say it's coming back. So just make sure.
What's
y'all-
coming back?
They say
that
the
weather?
snow. Yeah, the type of snow. Yeah. I
Oh,
mean,
see.
we haven't had. If you think of the last few years, we haven't had a lot of snow, and
Mm-mm.
every year it's been getting more and more and more. And I think this past summer was it was so hot that they said that when we talk about global warming and whether you believe it or not, that things are about to start happening. So if we got a hot summer, it may be a cold and snowy winter.
Mhm.
So winter's coming. When the next Game of Thrones? I don't really know. But yeah, so you already know we talk
Game of
weeklies after this.
Thrones?
I know,
Where
right?
that come
I mean,
from?
it's just the House of Dragons. It just came to me. Winter's coming. It's just
Okay.
and there's gonna be some ice walkers out there. It's gonna be real cold, right? And so
Mhm.
make sure y'all bundled up. Shout out to Freeway. So we talk weeklies after the talk on WPPM on Pete Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We talk weeklies after the talk with your boy Charles Gregory and the beautiful
Classy Lady Sparkle.
Lawrence.
All right, classy lady, you ready for me? You
For
ready to go
what?
right? Yeah, hey, for what? Good news or bad news, maybe? You want to do that?
Yeah, you know
Yeah,
how
all
I
right.
see.
All right, no doubt. Give it to me. But before we just give
Go
it
ahead.
to me.
No,
early.
go before what? Go
No,
ahead.
no, just give
Yeah.
it to me early. We good. Holla at me.
All right. This is all right. Y'all gonna just tell me anyway if it's
All right.
good or bad, so
All right.
it don't even matter. All right. I know y'all heard of this story. It's the University of Michigan's head coach.
Yeah.
It's sad, isn't it?
Yeah, that was
Yo, this is like, you gonna let that happen for that? All right. University of Michigan's head coach was 39-year-old Sharon Moore. Am I saying his name right? Sharon Moore. He's a married father with 3 daughters, and now he is without a job.
Mm.
Not only is he jobless, he's behind bars. He was allegedly exposed for having an affair with his assistant. And once that came to light, everything began to crumble for him. He was fired from his head coaching position where he earned, guess how much?
Mm.
More than the rookie earned.
Yeah.
Crazy.
$5.5 million. About
Mm.
$5.5 million a year. The university says that Moore had an inappropriate relationship with a staffer. Y'all can see the picture on who his wife and his assistant is. All right, they terminated his contract with cause. The president Grasso called the conduct unacceptable and adding that UM maintains zero tolerance for such behavior. Basically, in plain English, he is not getting a dime, a dime. He ain't getting no money. He ain't getting no money from his contract. All right, allegedly after, now this is all alleged. Everybody's like, oh, what happened? Investigations are still underway, but this is the information that I found regarding the alleged rumors. So allegedly after being confronted, Moore went home to his wife where an altercation broke out and the police were called. He then allegedly went to the assistant's house where he threatened to kill her and himself for her ruining his life. He was arrested on assault allegations and is currently being held at the Wichita County Jail. Now, the charge is not alleged. He is being held as for assault at the jail, but the series of events is alleged on how they came to that charge. So it's also alleged that a DoorDash driver delivered a Plan B to Moore's house and later sent an anonymous tip to the UM athletic department about the delivery. That same tip is what probably triggered the investigation. Ain't that crazy? Yo, you can't even trust the Uber driver,
That's
DoorDash. Like, what?
That is crazy. That's crazy.
That's wild.
And what you do in the dark will come out in the
Always
light.
Come out in the light. Yeah.
Think back to that little infamous, the concert with
Oh yeah, when
what
they put
band
the
that
with the
was.
when they put the picture on them.
Exactly.
Child.
Exactly. What was that? Was that that wasn't Maroon 5? What band was that?
I
And the band
forget.
called them out.
Yeah. But here's the thing: you always remain calm in chaos. If they would have not brought attention to themselves, nobody would have cared.
Exactly.
But because they did,
Uh-huh.
that was it.
Exactly.
That was it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So to close out this story, it's also alleged that Moore increased the staff member's salary by thousands of dollars to keep her happy after using the Plan B. Remember what I said? Investigations are still pending on all fronts that I discussed.
Sound kind of like blackmail. I'm gonna leave it at that. But it sounds kind of like blackmail. So they better stop. Listen, leave them Beckys with the blonde hair alone. I'm gonna just say that. If you look like me, leave them Beckys with the blonde hair alone, man. I'm just saying.
Can I make a comment?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't care. I'm not saying I don't care. Keep that comment. But what my father used to tell me is never meet with nobody who don't got nothing to lose or not more invested than you.
Yeah, that part.
Because you messing with an assistant who worked for you, she ain't got to lose what you got. Nope. But if you dealing with somebody who got more to lose than you, they not doing nothing. And not that I'm saying be a whistleblower or nothing, but you're not going through that,
girl.
I mean, am I wrong?
Exactly.
Like, nah, you messing with the help, and then the help get mad.
Yes.
Yeah. But see, I don't want to. So, but still, like the way guys think, though, we don't care about a woman having too much. We don't care. We don't care about your degrees. We don't care about your money. All we care is our peace. If you treat us nicely, be nice to us. Well, what? I ain't gonna say we'll talk to a bag lady, but we'll talk to pretty much anybody. As long as you treat us nice, we Gucci. That's it. We don't care.
And I've heard a majority men say that. Yeah, but I also know the same men who get a woman who's a 3.5 and don't sign no prenup, and she raped him out of his money when it's time to get that divorce. It's like, wait a minute, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
So sometimes you just gotta do more vetting. That's all I know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I am so excited about this story, y'all, and it's about time. Yeah. Philly is showing love to Saudia Schuler. Yeah. We have talked about Saudia Schuler so many times regarding things that she does for the community, how she, looks out, and now Philadelphia is actually seeing this. So yes, Auntie Saud is having a street named after her. The corner of Broad and Pike will now be Saudia Schuler Way. Wow, City Council says this is about honoring a woman who feeds whole neighborhoods, throws Christmas for the block, and basically pours her heart into North Philly every single day. Council member Cindy Bass put the bill in and said she did it because she admires Saudia's heart and her love for this city. And Saudi, she kept it real by saying, I don't do it for attention. I do it because my community deserves joy.
Yeah, shout out to Saudi.
Yeah. So as I said, I'm just so happy to write this story because it's not just a street that's being named after her. It's Philly's way of saying we see you, we appreciate you, and pretty much they not playing about her. So I think it's an excellent way to show her all that she's poured into the city.
That's right. Shout out to Saud. We love you, Saud. Shout out to you.
Yep. Yeah. And shout out to Cindy Bass. That's my big sis. I love her. Yeah. She I think she was that's her district, and she was just like, we're going to show love to her. So okay, the next story. So I'm doing better, aren't I, with the whole good news and some bad news? Yeah. All right. I'm making sure that I'm pleasing the people. All right, so this next story is about 8 Philadelphia youth football players. So I know y'all heard about this one. Yeah. You heard about it too, Sizzle?
Yeah.
Okay, so 8 Philadelphia youth football players, all between the ages of 13 and 15, are now facing felony charges in Florida after allegedly stealing more than $2,000 in merchandise. They were in Florida at a Dick's Sporting Goods in Polk County. So Polk County deputies say that on surveillance video, it shows the teens splitting into two groups, making a small purchase and then stuffing stolen items into a Dick's bag before trying to walk out. 3 teens were stopped outside with a loaded backpack and a store bag, and then 5 more were arrested in the inside.
Mhm.
The group was in Davenport for the prolific Nationals tournament, their basketball or football. And according to deputies, they never made it to the championship game.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's
the,
so
the
sad.
kids didn't. The
No.
kids, but the game still went on.
Oh,
Yeah.
so
I
they
think, the game still went
Okay,
on. I
so-
think they lost though. Yeah.
They did.
oh wow.
Mhm.
Officials noted that the teens had no prior criminal history.
Mhm.
They lost because they lost 8 of their probably star
Yeah.
players.
Yep.
Mhm.
That's what that is. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
Coach Raekwon Bynes, he had made a quote. He said the team strives on discipline, prayer, and schoolwork too. And he added, I just hope that they take this as a lesson learned, and
Yeah.
actions have consequences, and actions also affect not just you, but those around you.
Yeah, I'm saying.
So, but here's a question that I want to ask. And I know that people are going to be like, oh, so don't send me a message about what I'm about to say. Okay. But if these were white kids, the same age and the same facts, will we be looking at felony charges?
We wouldn't be looking at children's faces.
Yes.
How
Like,
about that?
okay, I gave you 2 options when I sent in the pictures. Did you notice?
Yeah.
It was one with the ones where their faces blurred out.
Yeah.
Which ones did you show?
I didn't show any of them. I'll do it later.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, well,
I didn't show any.
There were pictures with their faces. I seen when
It's
they did the
enough.
press
It's enough
conference.
pictures out there that if y'all want to see it, y'all can go.
You can
Google
Yeah,
it.
because I was
Mhm.
like, I don't want to see their faces out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So I know that it's accountability. I
Yeah.
know every time it's like, oh, the race card, this and that.
Mhm.
But the way that Southern drawl deputy or sheriff, when he was at
Mhm.
that podium and he took their pictures and said, here they go.
Yeah.
Look at them. They're this and they're that. And they were stealing
Mhm.
and they are caught. And we're taking it to the highest level. Like, come
Mhm.
on.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, just to be fair, that particular is he the commissioner or the sheriff?
He's the sheriff.
He's the sheriff.
Deputy.
Polk
That-
County Sheriff
yeah.
Brady Judd.
That particular guy is animated when because I had to do some research because I wanted to see if he was just being, if he was just targeting a particular demographic or is that what he does? And
He-
what I will say, he does that type of stuff, right? I think he wore a gold chain one day. I mean, it could be. I mean, he leans towards people who look like me, right? But I think we have become. I was a little challenged with the lack of outrage in them posting these kids' faces. I didn't see,
All under 18?
Mhm.
and I was a little disappointed because I thought I would see more people upset about that. But I think that we're in a time and moment where everyone wants to see everything, and we are in the social media moment, and so everyone is desensitized with visuals, right? So anything people are interested to see, right? That said, I get that they did something that they shouldn't have done, and it's the consequences that they have to serve, whatever that may be. And they're going to learn a hard lesson. I was just a little disappointed.
But that's why I said I'm not
Yeah.
saying the accountability isn't there. You
No,
know,
I
you got
yeah, no,
you
for
got
sure.
the so-called doing air quote black mothers. As soon as it's your child, oh no, my baby boy is this and this and that,
Yeah.
and no, he wouldn't hurt nobody. But what my question is that there's certain rules that we can't play by either, or certain things that we can't do that they can do.
Yeah.
Again, if these were white children between 13 and 15, championship, game and all of that, would this be the same outcome?
I already answered
Just
no.
yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
so. I don't think so.
No.
So, if I could just for 1 second, put my law enforcement hat on.
Mhm.
Mhm.
What I could say kind of troubled me about this is that, for a lot of people is that, you know, we have these teenagers that, you know, their faces are out there, their mugshots are out there, their names are out there. And I also did some research, and what I found is that in the state of Florida, and there are certain states where you can, you know, show their pictures. You can do that if they have felony charges. If these charges were misdemeanors, then, you know, you can't show their faces. So my thing was like, did they quote unquote trump up these charges just to make them felony charges, just to be able to show their faces? Because in the press conference that they have, they're going through these items like they stole this, and here's the total of these items. This for $59.99, that item, that item, that item, and the sum of the item is $2,000, of course. So if there's 8 people individually, they're not all $2,000.
So there's not a felony charge.
Exactly,
individually.
depending
Right.
on what the amount is. So if you divide who took what into the amount that they stole, now is it a felony charge? Or is it misdemeanors? Or is it even summaries? Like if one person took 69.99 worth of, they only took one item, that's a summary offense. And now you've put their face
Pictures.
out there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I had an issue with that. That made me very angry. But at the same time too, and I'm not sure that the parents know this, the public knows
That's
this
what I
or
was going to say.
whatever.
This is helpful. Go ahead.
Yeah, that they can request that the sheriff's department remove these pictures and take them down. And once they make that official request, they have to remove that. But at this point, it's
It's all over the world.
it's all
now,
over the
man.
place.
But and I'm not trying to flip it because Philly is Sioux City, but it comes to the point where when you learn this kind of information, it's like lawyer up now. Lawyer up. Now you got defamation of character, you got a lawsuit.
Exactly.
And although they was wrong and they definitely need to,
but they're still innocent until proven guilty. And they haven't committed any crimes. These are first time offenders. They could be offered some type of, you know, diversionary programs where if you complete this program, once you complete it, your charges are withdrawn, and then you can file for some type of expungement, and then this can be removed from your record. Therefore, you have a clean record. But at this time, you've already put their information out there.
right.
And they, once they become 18, you get a fresh start. You know what I mean? And then you start
Exactly.
all over again. And then you have you're supposed to have your juvenile record, and then your adult record is supposed to be separate.
Yeah.
But it's like,
but that's a great point that you made.
you can still pull this stuff
because-
up. So they
Yeah.
won't have that opportunity to not to be separated from their past as a juvenile,
Right.
and you know, have a clean slate as an adult.
But I'm still going on what you said about the individual part. Like, if each kid had under a certain amount of dollars and they're individuals, it's like, what? How can they all be? How can it be a felony
Yes.
if it's each individual charge?
Yeah.
Are they doing it because collectively, like conspiracy, or is that what it is that they were all together?
Absolutely.
So that's why they're
as from a prosecutor's standpoint, they're going to try to link them together as co-defendants.
Yeah.
Because that makes their case stronger.
Right.
But then that they're going to run with that, the $2,000. Like, oh, they all stole.
And I thought felony was 10.
merchandise.
What's anything over?
Well, it's
I-
different.
I-
It's different.
Every
Okay.
state is
Yeah.
different. Even here in Pennsylvania, the counties are even different.
Yeah.
Right.
Because like I have clients that if they committed the same crime here in Philadelphia, it's different
Than it would
than
be
it would
if
be
was in the
outside
county.
of
Yeah.
Delaware County, Montgomery,
Right.
Bucks.
Right.
And it is unfortunately,
Well, I'm hoping that the kids know that they did wrong, and I guess we say, oh, I took a candy bar, like you still stole, like you were dead wrong. But I hope that their parents is going to lawyer up and get some type of counsel.
and it is just like you said, if this were non-minority children, a lot of times, and even in taking criminal justice courses, what you see is that some of these crimes don't even make it to an arrest,
Mm.
because that police officer may know that child and may know that child's parent and say, hey, call your mom on the
Yeah.
phone. They're going to come get you.
Right.
Come get your
right.
child. He's over here stealing. Don't you do that again.
Yeah.
I better not see you no more. That's it. Next time you're
Yeah.
going to jail. And that's not, it doesn't even result in an
Right.
arrest.
Yeah.
But
and we need more of that in the neighborhoods.
Yeah, and one thing that I did here, and this is not in support, but what I would say is, from my understanding and listening to the sheriff, is that that particular county has very, very low crime, right?
Mhm.
And so they know when people are there that is different from those that are normally within that county. And
Right.
so they are probably more harsh on sanctions of crime because there's no crime there. So honestly, they probably are just trying to make an example of these kids.
they wanted to make an
Yeah.
example of these
100%.
kids, and they wanted to make a statement, an example based on it being a connection to Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it
I
being
see,
a
yeah.
connection to
Outsiders.
outsiders, and they're in the
Mhm.
state of Florida.
Mhm.
Mhm.
It's just so political.
Lil
just-
Duval put it on his page and was like, Philly, why y'all cutting up or something like
yeah,
that.
exactly,
It was
exactly,
like, oh my
You know,
gosh.
Phil-
exactly.
it's
What Trump say?
I mean, I felt that the response that the sheriff gave to directing it to Philly and the mayor said something to me.
Mm.
That's where I felt like
Mhm.
he has some motivation or
Yeah.
something that he's going to try to make an example, because he
Mhm.
was clear, oh, this ain't Philadelphia. I don't know what's happening over there in Philadelphia.
But the
They
thing
don't
is,
have
crime
no
is
here.
down here too, as well.
Yeah, no,
Mhm.
for sure. Yeah.
Still a jab though.
Mm-hmm.
Still a jab.
Yeah, it's
All
a
right.
jab. Yeah, no, for sure.
All right, we got some more good news.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Highlight
yeah. This
Mhm.
is Philly is looking to turn around 20 vacant school buildings into affordable housing.
We'll see.
Yeah. Cheryl Parker she's been making changes. She has really been doing her thing. I think she should come back on the show. I do. I feel like we got some good questions to
Yeah,
ask
she
her.
won't come over. She won't come over. I'm
Yeah.
sure she won't come over.
Well, we'll see. Let's reach
Mhm,
out.
mhm.
All right. So hopefully
We have.
we'll reach out again.
Okay, all right,
Yeah,
no
at one of
problem.
her events. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Hopefully this means that there are no more rotting eyesores, but potential affordable housing where these blight, eyesores are. So the school district has voted on a resolution to transfer the unused buildings to the city, and they approved the vote.
That's great.
So the long abandoned building, 80 Lewis, my sister went there. Shout out to 80 Lewis in East Germantown, which has been sitting empty for years,
Mhm.
while even though neighbors complain. The push came after the tragic discovery of 23-year-old Kata Scott's body was buried behind the Lewis School, which lit up the community's outrage and calls to do something with these properties. So
Mhm.
Mayor Cheryl Parker says we cannot let blighted buildings in the middle of residential neighborhoods lie vacant and wants them turned into housing to help ease Philly's housing crisis.
Mm.
Councilmember Cindy Bass wrote that the site has become more than an eyesore. It's now associated with criminal activity and tragic violence.
Mm.
Bottom line, those empty schools could now become homes instead of hazards.
That's actually great, though. That's great. I mean,
Yeah.
hopefully
Mhm.
they can continue that. And I'm seeing some schools turned into condos
Mhm.
and housing for the well-to-do. So it would be great to see.
That part.
Yeah.
Now in West Philly,
Yeah.
what school is that they
Was it
turned
West
in?
Catholic? I think
That
it
they
was
turned
West Catholic
into
High,
a
something like that.
But what they were doing
West
is
High.
letting people,
Philly.
developers come out and buy them and
That's
then
the
do
problem.
like, yo,
Yep.
Philly or just the city in general, why aren't you buying them, keeping them? Now you don't even have to buy them, keep them, and do something like this. I mean, y'all remember when Street started the dollar houses?
Mhm.
You had all these abandoned houses, and then it's like, well, let's fix them up and make them for affordable housing.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's like you said, we'll see.
We'll see.
You
We'll
know,
see.
it's that
Mhm.
saying, time will tell it all.
That's right. Time will
Yeah.
tell.
Time will tell.
Only
So
time will tell. Yeah.
that was your good news and your bad news from your girl, Classy Lady Sparkle.
Good news and bad news from Classy Lady Sparkle. I'm your boy Charles Gregory, the beautiful
Classy Lady
and
Sparkle.
the beautiful.
Lawrence.
And we are here. We talk weeklies after the talk on WPPMLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We talk weeklies after the talk. And we have a dynamic show. We waiting for one of our guests to come in. But I think this is a great time to talk a little bit about this article that I read. Let me see if I can pull this up. And I want to ask you ladies about some things that's actually that has been. Let me see if I can pull this up. We know that the big talk have become the conversation surrounding AI. All right. And I thought this article was pretty interesting. And I want to talk a little bit about it because I want to get your perspective. And so the survey says, this is the title of it, and you can find this on insidehalton.com. Survey says you're curious, but also concerned about AI. Here's how we'll inform the readers. And so this was a survey that they put out, and I'll just kind of scan it. One of the things is from Metroland says these questions and more are top of mind for many of you, according to the results of Metroland's questionnaire about AI. Metroland, the news publication parent company, published an online survey aimed at identifying what readers were most curious or concerned about when it comes to AI, which is interesting. And so I'll start there real quick. When I say AI, I start with Sizzle. When I say AI, what were some of the things that you were curious about when you're starting to hear this conversation surrounding AI, artificial intelligence?
In general,
What would be some of the things that you said I'm interested in or I'm not interested in? Yeah.
I think I'm always interested in technology. Like,
Mhm.
when it comes to anything
Yeah.
that's gonna just help everyday life when it comes to the future. Like, I'm always interested in advancement. So I think when I think about AI, I think about the positives of it. I do see a lot of the negatives that people are concerned about, because especially when it comes to just things, particularly on social media, some of the things that people think are real that are not.
Yeah.
And I'll just kind of say this as a sidebar. When we had our cohort that will hopefully be able to bring back in the next couple months, we had our beautiful students that we were able to kind of teach and train and mentor our young journalists. For those of you who have been supporting us and our dedicated viewers who have been watching us for so long, you'll see us kind of throw up our videos of our young reporters that they were trained by us in media literacy, and they were trained to debunk misinformation and disinformation. And a lot of the things that we showed them was just being able to identify that stuff on social media. And a lot of stuff that is out here on social media is stuff that is misleading people. And it's just training them on those things. And I think that was the negative side of AI and all that. But aside from that, just being able to use it in your everyday life just to make just tasks so much easier.
Yeah, absolutely. What about you, Spark?
What's the question?
So what would be all right? So I'll ask you a little later because I'll go through this survey. But they asked, how would you describe your current understanding of AI, right?
Mhm.
And what it doesn't do, which I was a little disappointed that it doesn't have any numbers or how many people that they actually surveyed, but it says 58% of the people, they have a basic understanding of AI. That's 58% of the people. And it say 19% of the people say, I have heard about it, but don't really understand it.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
So I think when people talk about AI, they're talking about it in the 2025, 2026 element. You're
Okay.
talking about it from what is it, cinema,
Mhm.
as something like huge.
Right.
AI was when you make a call and it says press 1 to be
Yeah.
transferred,
That's AI.
press 2. Like AI is so minute that it's been around for almost 30 years.
Yeah.
AI
That's
has
true.
been around. The only thing is AI, just like anything you plant, it grows.
Mhm.
So AI has just been growing and expanding, and now people are fearing it. But when you would go to the check cashing place, when you would pay
Mhm.
your utility bill, like, at one of them poppy stores or something. So that's AI.
Yeah.
My understanding of AI is artificial intelligence. I love, do you hear me? I
Mhm.
love AI. I
Okay.
do.
Mhm.
However, with everything you love, there's also a tether, a
Yeah.
dark place.
Absolutely.
The thing about the dark place with AI that people aren't talking about, and I don't think that they really know, is the emissions of the data fields that they're holding to
Part of
keep
it. Yeah.
this information.
Mhm.
That's the part that I'm like, I love this the way it grew and how big it is,
Mhm.
but I don't like the fact of the way of where it's being held, the
Mhm.
emissions that it's doing to the
The
environment,
carbon
the
footprint. Yeah.
pollution, right, to the communities. And sadly, and again, it is what it is. They're
Yeah.
going into these rural areas where there's people poverty stricken that are of black, of the black and
Mhm.
brown communities. And it's like, because they are voiceless, they can't like push these big MSOs and these big corporations, because they don't have anybody to have that intellectual conversation to say this is wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So go ahead. No.
And I
No.
wanted to because Spark just made me remember another thing
Yeah.
too. Another concern too is that, like, I thought about how they're also, like, when you're using some of the systems, the things that you're putting in there, they're using that to kind
They're
of
training it. Yeah.
training.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Mhm,
kind of
Mhm.
like
mhm,
I don't know if I want you
mhm.
using my
Yeah.
information
Yeah. Yeah.
to
Mhm.
that part. I don't,
Yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
I
no,
don't know
no,
about that.
100%, 100%. Just to go through some more of what some of the people were saying, it says 18% of the people say, I understand it very well. That's 18% of the people, right? And then 4.9% of the people says, I don't understand it at all.
I need ages.
Yeah, I need ages and how many people though. That's
Yeah.
what it doesn't have on here.
Mhm.
And then it goes on to say these were the top topics to explore to increase your understanding of AI. So it says we asked what you would most like to understand about how AI works. These are the 6 most popular responses. 6 most popular responses. How AI makes mistakes and spreads misinformation. So that's something that Sizzle was just talking about, that we had the opportunity to talk to some of the young journalists that we teach in media literacy, and that's what we were trying to explain. Then this had to be, I want to say 4 or 5 months ago. It was hard then. It's even harder now to identify not only misinformation,
Oh
but
yeah.
generative AI,
Mhm.
which a
Mhm.
lot of people have been seeing of the black folks talking about, yeah, y'all want my food stamps and all this other kind of stuff. That was generative AI, but for a minute, a lot of people actually thought that
Yeah.
was real people actually doing and saying those things, right? Misinformation, it was wrong. And I think y'all remember I jumped on and started debunking a lot of this information because people just need to know. Go ahead, Spurt.
I want to know, did Eddie Murphy do Puff Daddy and 50? Because I saw the documentary with Eddie Murphy, and
Yeah.
it was really Richard Pryor
Yeah.
and what's the other guy? Mooney. It was them
Paul
two,
Mooney.
Paul Mooney,
Yeah.
as puppets. So I seen something on my timeline, and it had It had Eddie Murphy in the middle, but it had Puff Daddy on one, and then 50 Cent, and it was like the Transventriloquists, the puppets, the
Mhm.
Muppets. I can't tell if it's AI or not.
Because it's gotten that good.
I was like,
Yeah.
I seen the documentary. I saw the two Transventriloquists. I'm gonna stop trying to say the word. I saw him trying, doing that. But now when I seen this, I was like, yo, that looks so real that I really can't make out. And at one point, put on your criminal justice hat for this, you could use photos and videos, as we know with George Floyd and so many other things, that was the holy grail. A picture tells 1,000 words. You getting convicted. Now, when you bring that into the court system, somebody can debunk it and say it's like generated.
Yeah, generative. Yeah. Real quick, let me get through this because we have our next guest on real quick. But I just want to go over this so we can have this segment for people to kind of see, listen to, and I actually want, if you are listening, right, and any of these resonate to you from how you determine or define AI, what most affects you, what are some things that you don't understand, or certain things you feel are detrimental to even a community or the environment. I want you to let us know right under here. Let us know, give us a comment, because we're doing a poll and we want to know how AI affects the community, more specific, our community, right? And so real quick, we asked what you would most like to understand about how AI works, and this may resonate with some of you. One was how AI makes mistakes or spreads misinformation. That's one. Two, what AI is not good at. A lot of people ask about that. Three, what AI is actually good. What AI is actually good at. Let me see. Four, how AI tools are trained. That's another one off the information, right? The difference between human-made AI, right, and AI-made content, and the link between AI and the environment, which you guys brought up. And last but not least, top AI topics reader are most curious about. They said, we asked which specific areas of AI are most curious about. These are the top responses from the readers. One, how to spot AI generative content. That's always big on everyone. That's even music also. People are using music. There's a commercial going around with, I forgot his name. Gosh, I can't think of his name real quick, but he's talking about using Sumo to generate some content, right? News and information, privacy and security, how AI is being used around me, jobs and the economy, and how to use AI safely and responsibly. And so those were the top topics most readers were concerned about as it relates to AI. And so it's a conversation we're going to continue to have, and I think it's just good. You wanted to say something? You good?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I
no,
could
I
tell.
was just agreeing.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, like people are concerned about jobs.
Will it replace you? That has always been one of the major
Yes.
conversations that the community has had. Will AI replace will AI replace some jobs and put people out of the job market, right? One of the comments that I constantly hear is that specifically, and I always say it's not going to be AI that puts you out of the job market. It's people using AI that's going to put you out of the job market. So I encourage you, if you're listening to the sound of my voice, at the very least, learn something, get acquainted with the tools, because there's a lot of tools out there, and there's a lot of free tools out there. Just learn a little bit.
I
and go
want to expound on that.
Right.
When you say like it's like what, nature loaded the gun, nurture pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
But I don't understand what you're saying. AI is going to be taking people out of jobs.
Yeah.
You begging your own stuff now.
No.
You out of here.
Yeah.
Like with the kiosk, you used to have like, let's just say 10 lanes. Now they got 4, and half of them you're doing it yourself. AI is taking jobs.
Yeah, but it's the same conversation of people that's saying, okay, well, there was a time where you used to use coal to burn your house or to give you heat. Do you still use coal?
No.
So the coal miners, do they have a job? Yeah, maybe a few of them do, right?
Yeah.
A lot of them don't. Why? Because the job market switched, right?
Right.
And it was the people that understand, well, there's other products that will warm the house. What is that? So if you understood that trend, then that means you need to become acquainted with certain things that's going to change in the job market. And this is not to support anything about AI. It's to support the community to say that there are trends that's happening in everything. Just like, say, for example, in music, right? People are not printing plastic. They're not doing vinyl records anymore.
Mm-mm.
So what do we say about that? Do we blame AI for that? Or do we blame the ever emerging job market?
Well, I mean,
No, it's a question. It's just a question. It's nothing. It's
it's
not
the
a
job market.
right or yes.
Yeah, because before AI existed, everything was still pivoting. Things
Right.
were you went from before AI, you went from horse and carriage to to plane, trains, and automobiles. So
Right.
it's the pivoting of the growth of the world. But I still think AI is going to be changing jobs. But as humans, we know that we need to say, okay, if this job is going to be coming or is going down because AI, then I need to find another field.
Which is the point.
Right. So I'm in agreement with you.
So it's the job market, right? It's understanding the job market, understanding that things are changing. This next gentleman who we actually have coming on, I'm very curious to see how he feels when it comes to the way that music is changing, because this gentleman music is amazing. Because I need to understand, and I know he's listening, but I need to understand his genre of music. It's such a great sound, right? And he's been doing amazing. I watched one of his videos and I'm like, yo, bro, you got to bring me over there with you because I need to be in the next video, right? Because he was killing it over there. But I would like to see how he potentially use AI, or does he use it in his music, or does he feel that the ever-changing music industry needs enhancement by way of AI? And so you think that was a good kind of transition?
I think it was
I think it was good too.
Yeah.
No, that's why I don't want anybody to go anywhere. Spark, why don't you let us know who do you have today? All right,
man? I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Is it Zex Z or Zex Zai? Well, Zex Z.
He'll let you know.
Zex Z is a fearless musical maverick whose genre-bending fusions of Afro beats, pop, and R&B has earned him global attention and millions of viewers, including over 22 million on Promised Land alone. Rising from personal adversity to international acclaim, he continues to push creative boundaries with charting hits, high-profile collaborations, and a sound rooted in resilience and reinvention. Y'all already know what to do. Let's give a warm We Talk Weekly welcome to Zex Zai.
My guy. How are you
guys? Thank you guys so much.
How are you?
Zex Z.
You had it right.
Sex Z, I was right. Okay, Sex Z.
Yes.
How are you, my friend? How are you?
Oh man, I feel so good. Just listening to you guys talk. I mean, like the whole AI thing is it's something that I discuss with people every day. And it's for me, it's one invention I would have loved to stop if I had my way.
Yeah.
Because every advert I see now on YouTube is AI. Everything, like you can tell it's not real. They are not real humans because they look almost perfect.
Yeah. That's right.
Even if they've gotten this synchronization of the mouth and the audio, but I still there's just something. If I think that it's not a human being that is there, I just don't. It just takes away my appeal for that thing. Like anytime I call customer care and I'm here, I'm like, if an AI is talking to me, and asking me questions before it moves me to a customer care representative, I just don't like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's just the state of the world right now. We have to roll with the punches and accept the changes as they come. But for me, it's one invention that if I had the powers to stop it, I would stop it. I just don't like AI.
Fantastic. I got your answer. Now let's start from the beginning, man. Because I think in listening to your music, I was pleasantly surprised with hearing your music. It's really different because it has this Afro beats feel, but it's like a fusion of like Caribbean with I can't even put my point. So how would you define the genre of music that you're in, or do you classify it as your own kind of, fusion genre?
Okay, this is how I see. This is how I see music. Is first of all, let me start by saying I'm an eclectic musician.
Okay, okay.
Um, I, I've had so many influences in my life when it comes to music. I started off like when I was a little boy. My elder brothers would buy, reggae music, bring them home. They'll play them. Even back then, I wasn't so music inclined, but I just knew that there was something about the reggae sound. We had guys like Mandatos because I was in Nigeria then, so reggae was a big sound in Nigeria. Afrobeat, Fela Nicola Bokuti was doing Afrobeat. So Afrobeat was also like the music for the streets, for the struggle of the emancipation of Nigeria from Western stronghold.
Yeah.
So that was there, playing that role. Reggae was there talking about life and reality of what's going on. Bob Marley and all of those guys, Mandators, and then with time, hip hop started to become a force, and we all wanted to when we go to barber shop, you see black Americans with their the haircuts. Everybody wanted to cut their hair like their favorite rapper and all that. R&B star. So because I love music so much and I love all genres of music, I love rock and roll, I love jazz, I love hip hop, I love R&B, because they all have different sides of me that they touch and they bring out. And being somebody who writes music, if something touches me, it's going to express itself in the form of music. If I, let's say I have a beef with someone over time, one day a song is going to jump into my head and it's probably going to be a diss song and it's going to come as a hip hop song, right? Because I'm listening to Tupac and Kendrick Lamar and all of those guys. And if I fall in love with a girl because I listen to Usher, Chris Brown, there is a tendency that a love song will come up somewhere from my subconscious. So, and because I'm very open-minded, I don't stop. I don't say, no, this doesn't sound like, or this is not what I should be doing. I just let it flow. For me, I'm a vessel for the music to just flow. And I think it's a disservice for me to, for a song to come to me and I don't want to work on it because I think it's not what I should be doing. You understand? Like there are people who think, oh no, as a black person, you're not supposed to do country music. As a black person, you're not supposed to do rock and roll. Leave that for the white guys, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think music should be like that. I just feel people should be able to express themselves in whichever genre that is best for that emotion, rather than stifle them and put them in pigeonholes and just say, no, you stay with urban music, you stay here with country music. And I like the fragmentation of music.
No, I appreciate that. And that makes a lot of sense. And I would argue that a lot of the music, when we talk about black people, people of color, all of the music originated from us anyway. So
exactly.
So go ahead.
You see the point you just made now, right?
Yeah.
And I just don't like the fact that we've been pushed to accepting that it has to just be hip hop for us, and it has to just be R&B for us, or just Afrobeats for us. I want us to be able to flex our creative muscles and defy the industry that tries to keep us in one spot and say, no, you guys, you have to keep doing this. If you do this other genre, we're not going to promote it, because I see that's what's happening, right? When you do something in a genre that the industry doesn't deem fit for you, they don't want to give you the playlist, they don't want to give you the promotion, they don't want, because they're trying to discourage you, right? It's like when you don't want somebody to buy a house in an upscale neighborhood, right? Even if he has the right credit score and he has the right everything, you're not going to give him that. You're going to make an excuse why he can't get a house there. But somebody with the right, comes and he just comes and you give him the loan to get the house because you want people of that type to be in that area. So I've figured out the game. I've seen how it's being played, and I kind of understand that there is this, even in music, there is this segregation and wanting to put people in boxes. I wanting
Yeah.
to put people where they belong, and I'm just somebody who wants to defy that line that has been.
100%, 100%. Let's back up a little bit, right? Because I want people to know you and who you are,
Mhm.
right? Uh, you, how did you, or what was the moment when you decided to say, music is for me and I'm going to become this creative artist? What was that aha moment?
Okay. I think it was because I did 9 to 5 for a while.
Hmm.
And for me, the reason I came back to music was even all of those times I worked, I was still having, like, I was still being inspired by the things happening around me. Um, in Africa, there's a whole lot of stuff going on. There's the good, there's the bad, there's the ugly, and I like to write about all of them. Uh, but then when COVID happened, and it felt like the world was coming to an end. A lot of people had resigned their faith that, okay, this is, we've been hearing that the world is coming to an end. We think this is it.
Yeah.
So everybody was making their exit plans, and for me, what the question I asked myself was, if this world was to end and God is asking everybody to, give an account of how they've led their lives, what am I going to tell him? What am I going to say I did with the talent I have been given? And there was no, I couldn't answer that question because
Hmm.
I was working in a place that I didn't like the job. I liked the people, but I didn't like the job because I'm a creative person. I wake up with a new song every day.
Hmm.
Um, so it was at that moment I said, okay, you know what? I'm gonna go back to music. I picked up my bag. I was in Benin because that's my hometown in Nigeria. I picked up my bag and I went to Lagos. Um, Worked on a song, did the video, and that was how this whole thing just started. And a record label came along, I got signed, and in 2023, that was when I came to America,
Hmm.
just to be able to meet people and do collaborations and all that. So that has been just a brief summary of how it started to where I am right now. That aha moment, like I think I should go back to what I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that
Yeah.
was in 2021.
Hmm.
Fantastic.
Were you ever scared when you had to make that transition?
I mean, they say a man who's down fears no fall, right?
Mhm.
It was COVID, and we all felt like we don't even know who's gonna die and who's gonna come out on the other side of this COVID. So when that happened, it was, for me, it was a do or die thing. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, what do you stand to lose? The world is coming to an end anyway. So
Yeah.
just give it your best shot. Go out in a blaze of glory. So that was how I just put myself together, worked on a couple of songs, dropped an EP that year. I did a video, I started doing the promotion, and the ball has just kept rolling from then until now.
Yeah. So you're from Nigeria, correct?
Yes.
Now, you mentioned COVID. For those who are from, because we're in the States, and I appreciate you chiming in, man.
Mhm.
You what,
But I'm actually in the States right now.
fam, let me give you a round of applause for that. There we go.
Thank you.
And so, how's the music, the acceptance of, I guess, Americanized music, right? In
Mhm.
Nigeria, is it a fusion over there that's accepted? Is it a specialty? Like, how is music perceived in Nigeria, Americanized music versus, the cultural kind of rhythm and drums from in Nigeria? How is that nuance?
When I joined when I joined your live stream and I heard you guys talking about Diddy and
Yeah.
50 Cent, I had mixed feelings because Diddy was, as a young boy, Diddy was that guy,
Yeah.
like the shiny suit man. Nigerian music is like most of our influences comes from American music.
Okay.
We just give it like a more Nigerian touch. Um, it's still it's still like American music, but just with a Nigerian flavor, right?
Mhm.
Um, Everything that makes Afrobeats today is from like the experience, the kind of music we were hearing you guys do in the States.
Yeah.
Jazz music, so fuse a little bit of jazz and a little bit of something from the Caribbean. So
Yeah.
it's a blend of so many things. So American music, there was a time it was like 90%, 95% American music on our radio. But over time, we had to start building our own industry
Yeah.
and trying to also, push our own thing, promote. So there's more of a balance now between American music and Nigerian music on our radio.
Yeah.
But in terms of influence, the PDD, 50 Cent, all of those guys were people we all looked up to and wanted to like, okay, even if we can't rap like the Americans, let's let's do something our own in our own way, but using the model that you guys had.
Yeah.
And until today, American music is still very big in Nigeria. It's still very influential. Every Nigerian artist wants to work with somebody from here because
Yeah.
because this is like the global stage where if you work with somebody here, the world gets to see you. So American music is very, very well received in Nigeria.
Mm.
Uh, just the swag, the dressing, everything is something that we've always loved and tried to do in our own way.
Yeah, fantastic. And sorry for my ignorance. I'm not familiar with, that region of music, and so I really appreciate you kind of, expanding on that. You you have an interesting style. And that's something and that's something that I noticed. And so let's talk a little bit about, your style and what, pushes you to be such a, because not only is your music creative, but your look is just as creative. And so what motivates you to be so, I guess, eclectic? You use the word eclectic. So what pushed you to be that in your look as well?
I'm just somebody who isn't rule bound. I don't. I'm the type of person that can just throw things together.
Mhm.
This can come from somewhere else and this from somewhere else. As long as it looks good to me, if I imagine it, then I try to physically put it together. Even with the making of my music, when a song comes to me, I'm thinking about the guitar line, I'm thinking about the piano line,
Mm.
thinking about a whole lot of stuff. I may not be able to play them by myself, but I could tell the producer, I think if we did this sound, and then he does it and it sounds good, right?
Right.
For me, I just don't use rules. I just let things flow as long as they look good together. Like even when I'm putting together a look, if I see something that I really like and I think, okay, so if I put this on my jaw, I think it will look good. And if I wear it against, you just think and you just do it. Um, I think the part that makes it all flow well is the confidence to do it.
Yeah.
Because some people will think of it and they'll be scared to look weird. There are times when I go to a place and everybody's like, why is this guy wearing this stuff? Is his jaw falling off? But it's just the way I like to express myself because I like to stand out.
Yeah.
Even when I started doing like so many different genres of music, uh, part of it was I wanted to be able to show people that it doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be or, it can be and.
Yeah.
I'll explain. It doesn't have to be hip hop or R&B or country or rock and roll. You can have hip hop and country and rock and roll and jazz music and all in one. What is wrong in having it all? Why does it have to be one or the other when you can have one and the other?
I like that. I'm taking that from you. Yeah, I'm taking that. It can be and not or. I
Feel
love
free,
that.
man.
I love that. I love that. I'll make sure I give you credits for that. No doubt, no doubt. Now, the time is spinning. I can't believe how fast it's moving.
Mhm.
When your Maple Grove, because I want to get into that, the Maple Grove Entertainment. Why don't you let everyone know what that is and how does that fit within your whole brand and your music and everything? Yeah.
Yeah, Maple Grove Entertainment is the label that signed me.
Mhm.
Um, Great company. They helped to put my sound together. They critique the music. We discuss about the next level, what song we're promoting, and they've just been there like a family, pushing the music. So they are basically like the framework that holds Zexy together. That's apart from God, who that is above all. But Maple Grove Entertainment is the framework that is the label pushing the music, and they're the ones who got me in front of you today. But I really appreciate all that they've been doing, and yeah, Maple Grove is a label that I'm signed to.
Fantastic. What is the legacy that you would love to leave as it relates to the music and all of your creative, space and environments that you have established and created for yourself? What is the legacy that you would like to leave?
I want to be, when it's all said and done, I want to be the most eclectic musician that ever lived.
Mm,
Um, there is a classical song on this album that I dropped August 29th, Tranquility. Um, I mean, when you listen to it, you probably would think it's a song by Beethoven,
mm,
but I wrote that song, and there's another one there, Beach Waves. You would think is a song um, by what's the name of this famous jazz musician? What's his name now? His name is eluding me.
mhm,
But for me, I want to be remembered as somebody who did all genres of music at its best, not just doing it because I'm attempting it, but doing it the way it should be done. So
mhm,
when you hear me rap, you would say, yes, this guy can hold his own against any MC.
mhm.
And when you hear me do an R&B song, you can feel my soul, you can feel the emotions, and you see me as a lover boy. And when I do a pop song, you'd say, man, this guy, he's rocking the mic. So I want to be that person who you would say was able to jack all the trades and did it well.
Yeah, fantastic. We talk weeklies after the talk of WPPMLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We talk weeklies after the talk with your boy Charles Gregory and the beautiful
Classy.
Classy Lady
and the
Sparkle.
beautiful.
Lauren Sizzle.
And you are here right now with a dynamic interview with my guy, international artist Zexy, in the building with his dynamic music and interesting, as I use his words, eclectic style. I love this guy. I love this gentleman. Before I let you go, what is some of, when you think of where you want to be with all of the things that you're doing right now, what would you tell the audience that's listening? This is who I am, and this is what I want from you, especially in where we are, on the East Coast, and the people who's listening to this music. What would you like them to know about you?
Okay. I just dropped two Christmas songs
Mhm.
about 2 weeks ago, and I want you guys to stream the song, have fun with it. I did it for the holiday seasons. So that's my recent project. You can find me um, on Instagram at Mr. Zexy, MRZEXZY, on Facebook, Zexy, ZEXZY, on TikTok, King Zexy, KINGZEXZY. Feel free. I have so many songs, love songs, jazz, Afrobeat, rock and roll. So whichever suits your vibe, you want to do content with it, feel free, enjoy yourself, and just have fun with the music. But the Christmas songs, two of them, Fairy Christmas and Every Day is Christmas. Very lovely song. One is very fast and the other one is very slow. So depending on who your temperament, pick and choose the one you would like to, do some content with, and just have fun with it.
Fantastic, fantastic. You're a great guy. You're a great guy. I like you.
Thanks, man.
Two
Thank
questions, real quick. Who
Mhm.
inspires you in terms of like writing and as an artist? Who inspires you? And keep that on your in your your parking lot. Who would be the person you would like to perform with? If they said, "Come on, you can go on tour with me. I want you here." Who would that person be? Your most important person that you can't wait to be or perform with? Who would that be?
Yeah, that's the funny thing right now. One of those guys that I would have always wanted to meet and just dance with her is in jail right now. That's Diddy.
Mm.
That's Diddy. I've always
Wow.
wanted to like. I love that guy so much. I just, in spite of everything that has been revealed and the expose and whatever, there are people you just love. You just like them. You just like their style. You like the way they move.
Mhm.
Diddy is somebody that, oh man, like I always thought about someday, like, being on stage with him and just doing all of those moves. Um, Another guy I loved so much is also in jail. I don't know why. I don't
Yeah.
care. I love that guy so much. He inspired my early R&B days and just how prolific he was able to write music and write for other people. Um, okay, who honestly, honestly, I don't have many new school guys that I like their music. I don't
Yeah.
like new school music because they don't feed my soul. I don't
Yeah.
learn anything. Um, if Tupac was alive, that's one genius I would have loved.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
I loved Bob Marley so much.
Yeah.
Then my rock and roll side, Brian Adams is somebody that I have always wanted to do something. I just like his gravelly voice and see any I don't have any new Catalan.
Mm.
I'm not passionate about the new music that is out there. I don't even listen to them. If
Mhm.
I'm being honest with you, all of them I would say Kendrick Lamar because
Ah.
Mm-hmm.
he still has that message and that vibe.
Yeah.
But apart
Mm-hmm.
from him, maybe Drake.
Okay.
I love the two of them. That's why I said you can have them both. It doesn't have to be one or the other. So I like those two. I like those two. Then Jay-Z.
Ah, there you go.
Yes. Jay-Z.
Mhm.
Oh God, I have a song I wrote some time ago. I'd love to feature Jay-Z.
Okay.
Yeah, those are the ones I can remember right now.
That's a nice. Let me give you a round of applause, my
Yeah.
friend. Well, look, I just want to thank you for coming on the We Talk Weekly. We really appreciate you, my brother. This was a great interview. I think you're an artist that we can, look forward to seeing big things from. And so one thing that we say is once you come to the show, you're a friend to the show. So you're always welcome to come back, my friend. And
Thank you.
any new music that you had, send it down. We'll make sure that we play it on the radio station. And we'll try to get you out there and amplify your voice, my friend.
Thank you so much. Where are my beautiful ladies? The ones I was.
Here they go.
Yes, thank you guys.
Thank
So,
you. Thank you for coming
what is
on.
your own name?
My name?
Yes.
I'm Sparkle.
Sparkle.
Yes,
Oh,
XZ.
yeah, it's a beautiful name. I mean, the song "Fairy Christmas." I was thinking about sparkles when I did that song. So nice
Oh
to
wow.
Mhm. No
Thank-
doubt, no doubt. And we
thank
we
you,
got
guys.
Lauren Sizzle over there, and she's preparing her stories. And so I mean, we're just excited for all of the guests that we have on. And one more time before we let you leave, why don't you let everyone know how they can get in contact with you and all that?
Yes. On Instagram is at Mr. Zegzy, MRZEXZY. On TikTok, King Zegzy, KINGZEXZY. Facebook, is ZEXZY. X, formerly known as Twitter, is at Mr. Zegzy, MRZEXZY.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Another round of applause. And so again, thanks for coming to the show, my friend. You're always welcome to come back, and we wish you much success, my friend. All right.
Same here, boss. Merry Christmas in advance. Thank you so much.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, my friend. All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. We talk weeklies after the talk on WPPMLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We talk weeklies after the talk with your boy Charles Gregory and the beautiful.
Classy Lady
And
Sparkle.
the beautiful.
Lauren Siegel.
And we have our next guest that we're super excited to have on. He was here once before. We got him again
All right.
because we want to talk to him. So, classy lady, who do we have today? Who do we have today?
Today we have Eric Marsh Sr. He's a powerhouse. Y'all heard that. Powerhouse community leader with nearly 3 decades of driving impact across Philadelphia, and was formerly the chairman of the Mayor's Commission of African American Males. Now, leading operations at the Philadelphia Center for Gun Violence Reporting, he continues to shift narratives.
Yeah.
He elevates voices and he champions justice. And trust me, there's so much more we need to unpack. Y'all already know what to do. Let's give a warm We Talk Weekly welcome to Mr. Eric Marsh. Ah,
Oh, that was beautiful. That was beautiful.
it's all facts. I've left out a whole lot.
You
A
did
whole
leave
lot.
out a whole lot. But,
Yes.
You know what I mean? I'm just really glad to be here. Extremely honored that you guys invited me to be back, and let's see what we're going to talk about. Your previous guest talked about a eclectic musician. It might be an eclectic interview, so
Yeah.
let's see what we can get into.
No doubt, no doubt. So, we're super excited to have you on, and you are already a friend to the show. So that's a great thing already. But you know what? So let's start with this because we had asked him questions as it relates to AI. And that has been a huge topic, not only in the city, but we're talking about the world right now. It's rapidly growing. And, there has been conversation based around what are the things that people are most interested in as it relates to AI. And we had an article up, and one of the things that people were saying, some of the top topics to explore to increase understanding of AI was what AI is or is not, right? What AI is actually good at, how AI tools are trained, the difference between human-made and artificial made, and the link between AI and the environment, right? And so top topics, that was some of the top topics that people were interested in, but top AI topics reader were most curious about, right, which was really interesting, was how to spot AI generated content. 2, news and information, misinformation. 3, privacy and security. How AI is being used around me, jobs and the economy, and how to use AI safely and responsibly. And so those were the topics that people were most curious in. So when it comes to you, right, and I mentioned AI to you, right, what would be in the scope of understanding AI or things that's most interested to you or concerns you? What would that be?
So I'm going to start off by saying I am not an expert in AI,
Yes.
but y'all invited me on because I got an opinion about everything. Right? First of all, let me just say, there's multiple layers to answering that question, because I think we all should be concerned about AI. One of the things that we have seen more and more of over the years, particularly coming out of Silicon Valley and the tech bros and people who are innovating in technology, is oftentimes these things are really cool. They can make your lives easier, but they aren't often equally distributed, right? So not everybody has equal access to them. And then those that do have access to them are often not people who are from disenfranchised or underprivileged communities, right? And so our mutual friend, Chris Norris, actually just gave a really, really good interview about this recently, where he talked about the concern from the economic side, like those who are benefiting from AI are often not folks that look like us, right? Even if you do get to the point where you start coding, The platforms are already out there. The platforms
Yeah.
are starting to be valued in the billions of dollars at this point. And so I think as a community, not as a community, let me back up, because I like to talk about us as human beings,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
If we start from a human perspective, first of all, AI data centers are horrible for the environment. They use a lot of water.
Yeah.
They're often, not necessarily polluting the water, but they're using the water to cool those servers, which is a huge concern to people who are aware of the environmental impact.
Yeah.
So that's one.
Mhm.
The economic side of it is that, yes, could it take our jobs? Possibly. There's still a lot of areas of concern, or like some gray area
Yeah.
in terms of what AI can do and what AI can't. Obviously, it's going to impact the job markets.
Yeah.
Definitely. A lot of proponents of AI are saying, well, if you want to secure your job, then learn AI,
Then learn AI, yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Get better at it than your competitor,
Right.
and that'll secure you someplace. But that's a zero-sum game, right? It doesn't make space for all of us.
That's right.
And I think it's indicative of the problem with capitalism in the U.S. is that many times technology will come up, and it's a race to adopt it without understanding the moral implications, but beyond the environmental and the economic implications. So that's a lot, and there's a lot there. But yeah, we can definitely start off with learning what it is.
Mhm.
It's becoming harder and harder to identify
Yeah.
AI generated content. And then those of us like us in this room who are creators of some kind,
Yeah.
right? We should be worried because our creations are getting
Yeah.
taken
Mhm.
and manipulated
That's
and
right.
used, right? And so
Mhm.
I think everybody should be concerned. Not like take out the torches and burn down the technology,
Yeah.
but definitely pressure folks who are in city government, in federal government, folks who are looking at the ethics of technology
Yeah.
and really pushing the issue about making sure that this is simply a tool that everybody can use and
Yeah.
not a lever to widen the gap on the economic gap between
Yeah.
wealthy folks and not wealthy folks.
Yeah,
Just for the
fantastic. Yeah.
record,
Mhm.
Eric was not here when we were talking about it. Like he hit on
Yeah.
everything
Everything
we were
Mhm.
saying about
Mhm.
environment, about like he wasn't in the room. I
I
just
mean,
want to,
it's the same.
crazy.
The thing,
Mhm.
it's not crazy because everyone is talking
Yeah,
about
everyone
these
is talking
same
about it.
concerns and issues. But again, there is a morality that we are not adopting when we adopt technology.
Mhm.
And so the moral concerns that are coming up are concerns that everybody has.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The problem is that, it's the shiny object syndrome.
Yeah.
Everybody
Yeah.
sees this technology. Oh, I can put my face in all of these different paintings. I
Mhm.
can do this thing with my image and my children's
Mhm.
image. And meanwhile, it's owned by somebody else now.
Right.
Your face is now on somebody else's server forever.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right. Your information is
Mhm.
out there on
Mhm.
somebody else's. So yeah, there's a lot of people who have been concerned about this. And plus, let me just say, like, I'm a super blurred. I'm a geek. I love my sci-fi stuff.
Mhm.
People have
Mhm.
been talking about the concern about artificial intelligence for decades.
Decades.
We
That's right.
just talked about that. Yes, we said it.
It's
Yeah.
it's not a new concern. And
Yeah.
so my hope is that, we can put in place some of those guardrails to make sure that we're
Mhm.
centering humanity and how humans use this technology over the technology using humans.
There you go.
Mhm.
Either you want to use or it's going to use you. That's one of the
Right.
things that I always say. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that input on it. One of the things that I just want to back up and just as the ecosystem that you're in as it relates to gun violence and things that we see on platforms like No Gun Zone. One of the major topics that has been circulating in crime has happened not even in Philadelphia, right? And we were talking about these young men from Philadelphia that were were unfortunately involved in a crime, and Sparkle did a story about it. And one of the things that stood out for us was the matter of fact response from you know the the, the sheriff in showing the young kids faces, and that was one of the one of the biggest issues that we had. I would love to know, with your lens, your crime lens on, your background lens in assessing this whole situation. What did you see? How do you believe it should have been handled? And what do you believe Philadelphia's take should be as it relates to that?
So first of all, I'm going to just state clearly that, the opinions that I share are those of mine personally and not representative of my employer or any other organization. Right? This is my personal opinion.
Give you a round of
Yes.
applause. A little disclaimer there,
Yeah, no, because it's important. First
It
of
is.
all,
It is.
it's important not just because I have respect for my team and my colleagues and the work
Yeah.
that they do, but also we live in a volatile
That's right.
society,
Mhm.
right? Very litigious society, as your example of the story points out.
Mhm.
And what's happening, what even worse, what we are seeing is nothing new, right? What we're seeing by those young boys being put out on the front page by having their full names and faces broadcast out in the news is not new behavior, right?
Mhm.
There is a belief in society, particularly in America, that we're a meritocracy, right? And you are successful because of the work that you put in and you pull yourself up by your bootstraps. And the reverse of that is also accepted, but we don't talk enough about it. That if you have a hard time, if you get in trouble, you get arrested, it's your fault too. And we've know that there's a history of Black boys being over policed and over criminalized and their behaviors being more harshly punished. Right. This is just the society we live in. And so none of us should be surprised that it's actually put out there like that. In terms of what Philadelphia's response should be, listen, it's hard for me to say because, as a parent, the last thing that I would want is for my son to have an opportunity to travel to another city, another state, to get an opportunity based on that is supposed to enrich his life and enrich his experience and like lead to a step to a better career, better future. And then for him to waste that by doing something as dumb as what these boys did. So that's the first thing. My heart goes out to the parents of these children. We're not having enough conversation about that. Second of all, the law enforcement that did do that should have, first of all, informed the families first if they didn't. And then because these young men, I'm not sure their ages, but to me, it looks like that they're all 18 or younger.
Between 13 and 15.
That's insane.
Yes. Yeah.
So just the fact that they are now being broadcast and labeled as criminals is actually illegal based on the fact that they are underage, right? So that should have been
I didn't
approached.
think of that. Yeah.
Their parents should have been brought in from the door.
Yeah.
But again, it's I will never get into a situation where I will publicly blame these boys for what they did.
Okay.
We all know that what they did was wrong. But the fact that they are being treated, they are being hung out to dry, they're being used as an examples is something that we really need to look at and examine. And I think we see it happening more and more. Right. And so we should be ultimately concerned about the behavior of that law enforcement department, the leadership in that law enforcement.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's going to be some response, whether it's a lawsuit or whether it's a protest or something, because that's how you uphold your rights, right? You can't just let people do this to you and your children. I'm not going to get too much deeper into that, but starting with the parents and the fact that these are still little boys. I don't know the details in terms of how they got into that situation and how they got out of hand. Obviously, back in my day, there would have been a whooping somewhere when you got home.
I know that's right. Yeah. No question about it. No question about it. And the neighbors, I would have got a beating from the neighbors and my aunts and all that.
I mean, the coach that took them, everybody would have had carte blanche. But that's a whole nother, we live in a different society now, and there's different
100%
expectations.
And this genre now, this generation would hear that and say, see, that was abuse. That was abuse back then. You shouldn't have got a beat into a certain level. They should have talked to you. learned why you did it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm,
it's just so different now. Even when you make those type of like, that's my generation.
Yeah. Mhm.
Like you're behind when it got whipped.
Yeah, we don't
But
care. I don't care why you did it.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
now
yeah.
this generation, someone would hear that, and
Mhm.
even those who are a little brainwashed would say, "Oh, see, that's the problem.
Mhm.
That's why they're probably doing it." You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Just playing devil's advocate.
No,
Yeah.
there's definitely a range, right? And let me just back up and say, I'm not advocating for that. What I'm
Mhm.
saying is that, as a matter of fact, because of the nature of the country that we live in,
Yeah.
I heard somebody say this recently, a lot of that really punitive, harsh behavior, those punishments that we received from our parents, our parents received from their parents,
Yeah,
was an effort to actually keep us aligned and protect us
that's right.
from
This
white society,
Yeah.
from the
Yeah.
larger
Yeah, that's
society,
right, that's
right.
because they
Yes.
would be even more harsh,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so the pendulum swings back and forth
That's
on a
true.
regular
True.
basis.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I
Go
do have a
ahead.
question.
I know.
Eric.
Mhm.
All right. So you've been doing this, as the bio said, 30 years.
I've been doing something for 30
For
years.
3 decades. That's like,
Something.
yeah. Well, I'm not aging you. I'm
I've been
just saying,
around.
like, even as when you were younger, you were probably the person that your friends came to you to talk about their life, things that's going on in their life, and say, hey, this is going on, and then look to you for your opinion.
Actually, no. Actually,
No?
what happened was, I was a parent at an early age. I was a father figure to my oldest daughter, who's now 35, right?
Mhm.
And wanting to do that job, wanting to fill that role better, had me looking for services, had me at her school, had me doing things. And then when my oldest son, Eric Jr., was born, I was a single parent. And so I was often the only man in a lot of these social service organizations. And I went through a welfare to work program. I did all of these
Mm.
things, first of all, to take care of my son, and to not be out on the corner. Like we hear the stereotypical narrative, right? I got to feed my kids. But there's a certain way you do that, right? And so trying to navigate the system, I personally ran into a lot of roadblocks and pain points. And I made a vow to help as many other men as possible not have to experience the same thing I experienced. And so
Wow.
it wasn't like somebody came to me, was like, Eric, how you do such and such?
Right.
It was after the fact where I found myself in rooms and I was like, yo, bro, don't fill that form out like that. Go over here and do this. Or don't go out there and don't get mad because they turned you down for this. This is how you go about it, right? And putting people on game and like helping them navigate these systems
Mm.
was really one of the most important things that I got a chance to do. And again, I didn't grow up with my father present and active in the house. We had a relationship. I knew who he was. I have memories of my father. But when I became a father, there were so many things that I felt. Imagine if I had somebody to teach me these things, where would I be in life now? And so I made a point to try to give my son those things.
Mhm.
And in the process of doing it, I had to show up. I had to get
Mhm.
information, right? And it just made sense for me to share it with other people. And that's pretty much what I've been doing for the last 30 years.
Okay, the 3 decades. That was my question, though. How did you get into the
Being
wow.
a dad.
Wow. An
Mhm.
amazing dad.
Yeah.
Trying.
Yeah, you're a very active dad. Very active, supportive, and you have your son engaged in a lot of the work that you're doing, from of course, the media literacy side of it, journalism, understanding the nuances of even crime and criminal justice. And do you feel that that's because potentially your father didn't do that? Why do you feel like you're so I guess all fathers should be super engaged, but you take a different approach in that you're in all aspects. You support your son and you're very engaged. What do you think? Why do you think that is?
Well, one of the first and most important reasons is, like I said, I started off as a single parent, right? And so I had to be everything. Now,
Gotcha.
again, shout out to my mother. God bless her, because my mother was there through thick and thin from day one. Right now, my son and my mother are like they thick as thieves, right? I can't separate them at this point.
Right.
Matter of fact, they didn't throw me to the curb, and now they just hang out, right?
That's funny.
I love it.
But because he didn't have the other side to lean on, because I didn't have his mother to lean on. And again, I don't talk trash about her or
Of course,
anything
of course,
negative.
yeah.
She's around. She's a mother. He has a relationship with her. He loves her. But because as men, you know, we get
Yeah.
told we got to be the providers. We
Yeah,
got to be
yeah.
the perfecters.
Mhm.
And so I had to carry all of that. And I actually had a conversation earlier today where I encourage parents to apologize to their children, because I had to go back and apologize to my son
Mhm.
because I was the only parent there. So, you know, when I was stressed, he saw the stress.
Mhm.
When I was frustrated,
Yeah.
he saw the and so,
Yeah,
and a lot of times as parents, we let that spill over onto our children.
yeah,
And so, yeah, I had to go back and apologize because I was figuring it out right along with him.
yeah.
But the reason, right, goes back to, again, I was the only one there.
Yeah.
And so on the flip side, I also, even though I do a lot of work with my nonprofit, the Fathering Circle, and we also do work with mothers and women, right?
Yeah.
But part of our mission statement is that we help men and male caregivers examine male socialization
Yeah.
and its impact on women and children,
Mm.
right? Because without that partner, things are twice as hard, sometimes 3 times as hard. And it's often something that's easily correctable. Like to be able to have a partner there when you're raising a child needs that.
Yeah.
I mean, we already see the
Yeah.
examples of what's happening. Going back to what I was saying about my role in wanting to fill in the gaps that my father didn't. I often talk to men about the fact that how many of you played sports? How many of you had a coach, right?
Mhm.
What did that help? What that coach help you get to?
Yeah.
And where would you be in that same sport if you didn't have that coach,
Mhm.
right? Everybody can admit, oh, I wouldn't be nowhere near as good. Think about that when it comes to the role of being a father,
Mhm.
right? You are literally a guide, you're a
Coach, yeah.
coach, you're the
Mhm.
first trainer, you're the first pep talk,
Mhm.
cheerleader. You know, you get a chance to be all of
Mhm.
those things for your child
Yeah.
so that they can then elevate.
Yeah.
But oftentimes what happens is we are, as men, encouraged to go to work. It's all about how much money we make and
Yeah.
what we bring into the household.
That's
And so
right.
we can't work all the time and make a lot of money to take care of the family and be in the household and be present with the kids at the same time.
Mhm.
Right.
It's an oxymoron. It's a catch 22.
Yeah.
It's just not. And so we get set up in a way that often leads to failure. You know, one of the number one
Mhm.
reasons why couples
Sheesh.
break up is arguments over money,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Because the family needs resources. So it's like, we got to come to some agreement on how we're going to do this thing. And I talk to a lot of men about that, about being able to find that balance
Mhm.
and that your self-worth as a man in this society,
Mhm.
we're told that our self-worth is directly connected to our net worth.
Mhm.
But when it comes to
That's
a
right.
child, we keep hearing about, well, child, you just need to be there. You need to be present,
Right.
right? And so we've got to figure out that balance.
What's your opinion on now with ADD, ADHD, so many different things that our generation now sees like, oh, that's why I did that, or identifying that in a child who they may see it as a disruption or a disturbance,
Yeah.
but this child just has some type of special needs that hasn't been identified. And, you know, like autism, a lot of times it's, you know, you're now being forceful, which looks like it's being aggressive, but you're just frustrated because you're trying to communicate and no one understands you.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on that?
I want to explore this much deeper because I feel like, you know, there's a lot of people that's talking nowadays like, wow, all of a sudden we got all of this ADHD
Yeah.
and we never had it before.
No,
And
yeah.
well, the reality is that testing is different,
Yeah.
resources are different,
That's
science
right,
has
that's right.
evolved over time. But also our society has become more and more narrowed in terms of the scope of resources and access and things that children do to be able to express themselves,
Mhm.
right? We're hearing the stories more often. We're seeing it. We're in a more concentrated society, right? So 30, 40 years ago, a child with ADHD, and again, I'm not an expert in this subject, but what I've seen and hear and have learned from people adults who have it as well as experts is
Yeah.
that, you know, 40 years ago, a child would have just been much better at the football team and they would have been more active in like sports and activities and doing all this other stuff in terms of what they feel comfortable with, or they would have been just labeled an introvert because they sit in the corner and draw by themselves, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So we had different labels for them over time, but 2, they had different outlets.
Mhm.
Now I think in the way that our education system is set up and the expectations of society, we're cramming more and more kids into a smaller classroom and expecting them to sit still for a longer period of time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that is the polar opposite of what anybody with
Right.
ADHD or
I was
ADD
about to
And
needs.
say,
yeah, and less
right.
activities. They put the
Yeah.
blue screen in front of them, and
Exactly.
then now it's like they take away all those other
Which,
hands-on.
by the way, I was just looking at a report earlier today that talked about how our cognitive decline, our inability to focus for longer periods of time,
Yeah.
are a result of the smartphones and devices and the apps
Yeah.
that we have,
Yeah.
because it's triggering that dopamine at a faster rate,
Mhm.
more frequently. You're not allowed to languish and get into and in depth into
100%.
some things. So
Yeah.
it's just, I think sometimes, and this is not any shade towards your question, it's more to society at large,
Mhm.
and that we're often looking at the symptom as opposed to the problem, right? When we see incidences of ADHD and ADD coming up more and more frequently, we're saying, oh, well, there's more in kids, but we're not questioning enough. I think
Mhm.
we're questioning, but we're not questioning enough how technology and society has contributed to what we're seeing.
Mhm.
I think that's something to be
Yeah.
mindful of. I mean, I talk to a lot of my friends who are adults now, and they talk a lot about the anxiety that they feel.
Mm.
And it's just like, this is the daily level of
Mhm.
of anxiousness is higher than it was decades ago. Why?
Absolutely.
Because life is more stressful. There's more people around. Have you driven in Philly lately? Like that
So,
by
yeah.
itself is
Mhm.
like,
Yeah, I think they made the news for the worst. Did you see
I
that?
saw that. One of the
think number
top 10
Yep. I
cities
think it was
in the
number
country.
4 or something.
Well, number
It was
3.
number 3. See,
Yeah.
yeah,
Number 3. Chicago and New York are the two that are worse than Philly.
right. Wow.
Yeah, we also made the news that I'm trying to say that Philadelphia wasn't one of the sports towns in the nation. And of course, Philadelphia, we went crazy because we say hello by saying "Go Birds."
That's
right,
it.
right.
That's it.
We didn't even make the list.
Somebody,
It's like, are
whoever's
you
list
crazy?
that is,
Are you nuts?
I'm just gonna put it out there. Whoever's list that is, they trash.
Trash. Pretty.
Real Philly
we,
response.
How wouldn't we be on there and we won a Super Bowl? Like that right there didn't make sense.
Listen,
It's
I
just
have
like-
been in other countries and seen somebody with Eagles green on, and we've been
Yeah.
like, "Go Bird!" Like, you know what I mean?
Go
We rep worldwide.
Come
so
on, yeah. So that was interesting that we had that. This time flew
It
already.
did.
Wow, that was half an hour that fast.
Yeah,
Jeez.
yeah.
I'm
I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot.
No,
So
that's good.
I did want to point some things out because this gentleman is super busy, and
Mhm.
I just want to give him accolades
Mm.
for a lot of the work that he does. And I'm constantly seeing him out here in the streets.
In
I'm
them
always
streets.
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
I always see him, and he's just so busy. And I have the privilege of seeing a lot of the work that he does on LinkedIn. And I've run into him and seen a lot of the work that he
I
does.
was
But
gonna say, you ladies was just sitting in a training with
Yes.
me for the other day. Like,
Yes.
so that
Run
was
down the
dope.
list, Sizzle. We need to talk about some, or just even recognize it.
yeah, but the what was it? The Million Man March.
The anniversary.
Yes.
Commemoration.
Yes, talk
yes.
about that. Talk about that.
I mean, I can't take any credit for that. It was a Philly Truce. The brothers who are part of started the organization Philly Truce went out of their way to make sure that Philadelphia commemorated the 30th anniversary of the Million Man March, and they did an outstanding job. In fact, early in the morning, the weekend of the anniversary, there were 3 separate marches. So they actually had a march that started in North Philadelphia,
Mm.
one in West Philadelphia, and one in South Philadelphia, and they all converged
Wow.
on Love Park
Oh,
at the
that's
same
pretty dope.
time, so that people all over the city could actually feel that
Hmm.
camaraderie and actually show up and represent. And so I can't tell you, it was a beautiful experience just to be invited to be there
Mhm.
and to speak, but to see the thousands of men that actually showed up at
Yes.
Love Park in the plaza. And shout out to the brothers that came from across the country too, because it was a
Mm.
huge representation
Yes.
of men who showed up, caught buses to come to Philadelphia to show their support and their love in Philadelphia. So Philly Truths, you get with the brothers Mazi and Steve from Philly Truths, because they deserve all the credit behind that.
Wow.
Yeah, that just gave a whole new meaning to the phrase brotherly love.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Like that just was amazing. And the other thing that I saw too was I'm sorry, I was trying to go
That's
off
all right,
of
'cause
memory. I had to go right to your LinkedIn page.
I'm gonna give y'all a shout out for being here on a cold Saturday
Yeah.
night. Y'all been holding us down, so y'all got me out the house. I wasn't out in these streets, but I come out for y'all. So.
We
the
appreciate that.
the selection as the Columbia Journalism Fellowship,
Mm,
one of the fellows for
Mhm.
2026.
the Salzburger executive leadership. Yeah,
Congrats.
I'm-
Congrats.
I'm humbled. By
Yes.
that. Absolutely
Yes.
humbled.
Yes.
You know, it's nothing but God. You
Mhm.
know,
Hmm.
I've had a really, really incredible year this year, but this year was
Mhm.
following an incredibly trying and difficult
Yeah,
year, and so
yeah.
I prayed a lot,
Mm.
and I'm grateful. The Salzburger Executive Leadership Program is extremely prestigious, and for
Mhm.
somebody, you know, who has been told that to my face that I'm not a journalist, to be in this program means that somebody sees something in me, and so I just want to be able to pass it on to others.
Mm.
Nice.
And that's so insane to hear when there's so many different levels to journalism, especially when you have like and this always sticks with me, a young lady who pulled out a phone and captured a
Mhm,
man being murdered by a knee on his neck.
mhm.
And she wins one of the top awards that every journalist dreams of winning. And she's not a journalist. She just pulled out her phone and captured the moment. And
Mhm.
you want to tell somebody that they're not a journalist and they're doing the work.
Yeah. Well, I
It's insane.
don't pay attention to that negativity, but it does fuel my efforts to show up and to
Yeah.
be better at what I do. And so
Mhm.
my hope is that, you know, through the work that I do at the Philadelphia Center for Gun Violence Reporting, you know, we specifically train journalists on how to cover gun violence more
Mhm.
ethically and empathetically.
Hmm.
And one of the reasons why journalism is struggling is because so many people have tuned out,
That's right.
amongst other reasons. But,
Mhm.
you know, there's a lot of people who are not voracious consumers of news content from traditional media outlets the way they were 40 years ago.
That's right.
And so the
Mhm.
game has to change, right? And so I'm fine if somebody considers me not a journalist. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
What matters is, are we getting the news and information out to people, like the work that you guys have been
Yeah, I
doing for
appreciate
years?
that,
I'm
yeah.
telling you, like, y'all
Thank
don't
you.
understand how proud I am to see the
Yeah.
work that y'all
Yeah.
do.
Appreciate that. Let's
And
give you a
the
round of
growth.
applause for that right there.
Yeah,
man.
man.
Doing some work out there.
Get your flowers.
We trying to do what we trying to do. You know, we out there in those
Absolutely.
streets. But no, we definitely want to give you your flowers. You've been doing the work out there. In fact, let's talk a little bit about, you know, the organization and what have you been finding in terms of trends with gun violence. It's a lot of things changing as it relates to
Mhm.
that. So what has your organization been finding and have been in talks in terms of combating a lot of this? Yeah.
Well, you know, again, PCGVR, we have 3 different components of the organization. So we have a multidisciplinary research collaborative that's headed by Dr. Jessica Beard. She's the head of trauma surgery at Temple University. But she has been leading our research work for the last 5+, almost 6 years now. And a lot of the research that she has done is actually groundbreaking because she's one of the first researchers that looks at the intersection between news media and gun violence.
Interesting.
Right. And so we know that we have an impact. We know that the stories we consume, the information we consume has an impact on us. But what we are at PCGVR are doing is that we are trying to train journalists in a different way of telling those stories.
Yeah.
Again, a more human-centered, fact-driven storytelling that actually shows that gun violence is preventable.
Yeah.
And treating it as a public health crisis, like many of the other public health crises that existed in the history of this country.
Yeah.
When we get together, and we get a force behind it, and we get national support, we can end these. And gun violence is actually a preventable issue.
So let's talk a little bit about that, because I want to, for someone, say for example, a journalist that has been part of the legacy media that has been covering gun violence, the way that they cover that now, what type of I guess tips would you give them to help them rebrand or retrain their minds in their reporting?
Well, first of all, go to pcgvr.org toolkit/toolkit. We have a toolkit that anybody can download, not just journalists, that actually is a multi-page toolkit with best practices and tips. And we actually have a one-page document that says do's and don'ts. And one of the first things is don't do serialized reporting. When serialized reporting looks like, black man, 20 years old, shot this many times, no suspects involved, right? Or no suspects arrested. That kind of reporting that doesn't convey any information that anybody can actually use, right?
That's traditional and it's standard.
It's traditional.
It's standard.
Yes. And part of the reason why it's standard is because, again, this is no shade against journalists. Journalists have one of the hardest jobs in the world. And it's even harder because many of them are under unrealistic deadlines to turn out stories.
True.
And so if a violent crime happens, because of the nature of the country that we live in, it's instinctive to go to whatever authority is present. And if you go to a crime scene, particularly a homicide or a shooting, the police are often the only authority figures that are there, and they have to do a report. And so many journalists just take the police report, which has just the facts, and then they turn that into a quote unquote story and then convey that. What we are saying is that we want journalists to take a little bit more time to understand the community, to talk to residents who are actually well-versed in it, to talk to someone who is knowledgeable about the public health crisis of gun violence, to someone who may either know the family, know both parties, know the victims. One of the reasons we have another program called Survivor Connection. Survivor Connection is actually training community members who have been directly impacted by gun violence, whether that means you yourself been injured, or if you've lost a loved one. We take them through a half-day training that includes media literacy and how do you talk to journalists? How do you understand what on the record and off the record means? How do you know how to prepare for questions and what are the most likely questions that journalists are going to ask? And then the reason why we do that is because we want these community members to interrupt what we call the second trauma, right? The first trauma is when you lose a loved one to gun violence or when you're impacted by gun violence. That's the first trauma. And anybody that's experienced that knows that can change your life forever. But the second trauma is often when the journalists show up, when the cameras and the microphones come out, when people knock on your door, or they want to get the most salacious story, or they want to get the fastest story. I've had so many mothers of murdered children say how the journalist got the name of their child wrong, or they got the facts wrong, their birthdays wrong. They got information that really is about a human being wrong because they are in such a rush to actually turn that story out.
Get the story out. Get the story out.
Exactly.
Yeah. Real quick, because we only got about 2 more minutes. How can someone, like a journalist or someone that really wants to get educated on how to report like news based around that ecosystem, how would they do that? And is it a cost to get educated on that? Like, how do they go about that?
Well, there's a couple of ways. Like I said, pcgvr.org is a wealth of information. We put out a weekly newsletter that also partners with outlets across the country, like The Trace and The Guardian, many other news outlets. We also have the toolkit that's available. We just completed our not only our 5-year anniversary, but we just did our first gun violence prevention certification conference that saw over 150 attendees come through. But in addition to that, if you are a journalist or if you're somebody that works in adjacent to gun violence reporting, we have a membership organization called the Association of Gun Violence Prevention Reporters. That's a mouthful, but the website is agvr.com. And that is a membership organization that actually creates social connection between journalists, because journalists experience trauma
Yeah.
going out here. Imagine
sure.
if that's your job
Yeah.
and
Right.
and you're on the beat to cover
Yeah.
trauma and violence.
Especially if that's your community, your specific community, and you may even know the parents or family of the person who was injured or transitioned because of that. Real quick, how can I get in contact with you and find out more about you and some of the work that you're doing?
You can email me at my Gmail is Marsh Eric Senior, SR for senior, Marsh Eric Senior at gmail.com. If you want to learn more about the Center for Gun Violence Reporting, you can visit pcgvr.com. And you can look up some of my fatherhood work on Instagram at The Fathering Circle.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
We Talk Weeklies after the talk on WPP MLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We Talk Weeklies after the talk with your boy Charles Gregory and the beautiful
Classy Lady Sparkle.
and the beautiful.
Lauren Siddle.
Yeah, which there you go.
Talk fast.
That's funny. So coming up next, we got this. So you ready for the sizzle for me?
I was trying to add this one little last.
No, good. All right,
picture,
no,
but-
that's all good.
Sorry.
So what I'll do is let's go to a little break. And you feel like can you hang around a little bit?
Yeah.
All right, there you
Okay,
go.
anyway.
All right, we'll be right back, y'all. We're gonna let's put a little break on. I haven't heard Spark Classy Lady. in a while.
Oh
We'll be right
gosh, I
back, y'all.
cannot stand it. We just want to get a little background as to who the Fantastic Noise is and the noisemakers. If you can let us know.
Yes, absolutely. So once again, I am Fantastic Noise. I am the original noisemaker, so no one's gonna make as much noise as me, okay? And right here we have the Noisemaker Band. This is only half of it. The other stuffs are upstairs. My Kevin Lamar, Lonnie, and Dobbs, who are the actual band members. These are the background singers, and we came to make some noise. We came to bring that noise today. So that's what we try to do. That's it.
right.
Yeah.
And how did you guys get together?
Oh man, so it started with I've been doing this on my own for almost 3 years now. And man, I guess each of these people here have different background stories. Most of us went to the same church together, and we just kept going. This one, her, this is one of my assistants here. One of like my biggest supporter, my biggest shooter here. She's an assistant. So we just been building, and the same thing with upstairs with the band. Just meeting through people, kept networking, kept seeing, and it was just like God ordained. Bam, here we are.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, could you guys do We Talk Weekly a favor?
Yes.
Can you give us a drop in a melody type way?
Oh, a melody type way?
Yes.
Okay. So we talk weekly?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to do something like this. We talk weekly, come and hear us. We talk weekly, come and hear them. 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 We talk weekly, come and hear them.
You just gave me like.
And Spark was loud on that one. Yeah, oh my God. Yeah, that was real funny though. She's really excited about that. I think Fantastic Noise. You know what's interesting about I know, right? We need to, reach back out to them, had them on the show. Let me see, because I ain't hear you one more against and so I think that what made that moment so dynamic was because that was one of the times that Spark just told her, could you just do something? And how she did that. And this was, I want to say this might be about 6 years old now, about 5-6 years old. And we still use that and it still works today. So that was pretty dynamic when it comes to that.
Yeah, well, I think that this speaks to like your talent, like when you're just that good and you
part.
can just like when you work together as a team, you've been singing together for so long and like you're just that good and talented and you can just be like dun 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 and the whole crew just knows how to jump in like that. Like I sing with some folks and we know like as soon as like snap those fingers, like you just know.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yes.
Well, you know what time it is. It's time for me to show me your talent. You ready for me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, well,
Yes,
give it
sir.
to me early.
All right. So it's your favorite show, We Talk Weekly. Catch us on all social media and major podcast platforms and subscribe so you never miss an update. And if you want to stay connected, stay entertained, and keep the movement strong, support our content by making a donation on Cash App at We Talk Week $We Talk Weekly, or you can go to wetalkweekly.com and donate on PayPal. And no donation is too great or too small. All right, so Beyonce is returning to the Met Gala after a 10-year hiatus. Only this time she returns as co-chair. So the Met Gala has announced that the Costume Institute's Spring 2026 exhibition titled Costume Art, which is set to premiere in the Met's new 12,000 square foot Condé M. Nast Galleries. The exhibition and benefit are made possible by Jeff Bezos and Lawrence Sanchez Bezos. So Zoe Kravitz, she will co-chair the gala host committee, also with other people. And some of the members include Sabrina Carpenter, Doja Cat, Misty Copeland, Sam
Misty
Smith,
Copeland, yeah.
Tiana Taylor, and Asia Wilson. There's additional host committee members that'll be announced at a later date. And in 2016, Queen Bee graced the Metropolitan Museum of Art steps, donning a custom Givenchy haute couture created by Ricardo Tisci.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm looking at you because fashion, this is your lane.
No doubt, no doubt.
So Beyonce is going to co-chair alongside Venus Williams and Nicole Kidman, which celebrities. Oh, this is what I was going to ask you. Which celebrities wore some of your favorite Met Gala red carpet outfits?
Back last year,
I mean, of all time.
I don't know. That's hard.
That's a tough one.
That's hard.
That's
Yeah,
a tough
I
one.
had to think about that. I mean, I got some. I don't know. Hey, that one is hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to think about that a little
Mhm.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
No,
I
I thought you was going
Riri-
to go right to Rihanna. Yeah,
Riri,
I know
I was
that's
about to say
that's
Riri.
That's
you
your
know
girl.
what I mean? It's no question. I mean, she had some show-stopping looks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, probably Riri. I'll stop right there. Riri, that's my girl.
Yeah. I would say Rihanna. You
Mhm.
know, it's a lot of people that have like, you know, graced those steps and just like
Mhm.
their ensembles have been impeccable. Beyonce is one of them. Rihanna, she's one of them. Cardi B, of course. Nicki Minaj, she's another one. Man, it's so many. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Dallas, Texas Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, she has, to no one's surprise, thrown her hat in the ring to run in the U.S. Senate race, which shook up the Democratic Party. So as former Dallas Congressman Colin Ari made a last-minute decision to drop out of the Senate race hours before the deadline to file the paperwork, Crockett made it official that she was running. So she launched her campaign, and during her speech, you know, she's said a lot of things. But she also said that there were the more that she saw the poll results, she said, I couldn't ignore the trends, which were clear both as it relates to the primary as well as the general election. She said, I could have played it safe and continued serving in the U.S. House of Representatives for as long as my constituents would have me, but I don't choose to do that because Texas, this moment we're in now is life or death. It's all or nothing. It's now or never. And then she also said, I'm the only candidate in this race who has served on the federal level, who has taken on this administration and sought accountability. I'm the only one who has gone toe to toe with Donald Trump. So basically following Crockett's speech and her launching her campaign, a new poll has shown that she's already leading her opponent, James Tallarico, by 51% to 43%. And then simultaneously, you have critics who are saying that the state of Texas has not elected a Democrat to the Senate since 1988, and Crockett is fighting a losing battle on this one. So they think that she's making a mistake. So what are your thoughts?
Interesting. Yeah. I'm Yeah, I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence with Miss Crockett. I know she's unapologetic and she's fighting a good fight.
Eric, say
what you
I
gotta
want to
say?
hear what he got to say.
Oh, you want to hear what I have to say? Oh my goodness. Oh Lord. All right. Again, the statements that I make are not representative. No, so
Yes.
let me just say I admire Representative Crockett. I admire her passion, her fire. I admire her intelligence because she's really sharp.
Very
She knows what
smart,
she's
Yeah.
talking about, what she's doing. The one thing that I will say is that I'm deeply, deeply concerned. This goes back to President Biden when he was in office and the mistakes that the Democrats make. We got a very shallow pool to pull from,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And so we can't keep putting the same people
That's right.
up for these
Yes.
positions.
That's
And
my
like,
point,
we're
yeah.
going to wear her out. I mean, we wore
Mhm.
Biden out. And so my concern is like, who else are we grooming for these positions in the Democratic Party? And how are we making sure that we're more representative, right? But how are we getting more people involved as opposed to, you know, it feels almost like Hollywood. Like you see the same actor in all these different movies.
That's
Like you ain't
right.
got no different actors.
Mhm.
Like you can't. Like this dude just did 14 movies this year.
Mm.
Same thing with Representative Crockett. I feel like I love her. She's passionate. Like she said, she could have stayed in the position that she was in, and her constituents would have been really, really well supported,
Yep.
and they would have supported her. She is stepping into the lion's den by stepping into Texas. It's not insurmountable, but I just want to see her get some more support, and there'd be more opportunities and individuals who step up for the Democratic Party.
Yes.
But I love her. I love her.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I could go to Texas and vote, I would.
Yeah,
No.
okay.
Yeah.
I just continue to feel that the Democrats keep making the same mistakes. The same mistakes. It's like we if they didn't learn from this past election, then it's kind of like, will you ever learn?
And the
It's-
mistakes are like what? Performative mistakes or?
just the same playbook.
Mhm.
I'll leave it at that. Just the same playbook.
Could you expound?
I really don't want to, but I mean, we could.
What,
since
what do
put it
you
on
feel
the-
like is? I mean, like, what's like the same playbook?
Well, just really not listening to the people. You know, it's really not listening to the people.
Mhm.
It's always
Mhm.
feeling as if they already know better than the people.
Right.
We're in a completely different generation, completely different issues. We just had a long conversation about AI,
Mhm.
how that might even displace the job market. Like, what are you actually think? I don't want to see. This is what I didn't want to do because I ain't want to get on my soapbox. But it's kind of one of those
yeah, it's
things.
okay.
That it's kind of one of those things where it's like, yo, are you truly listening to
Right.
what the people want? Are you truly seeing what the concerns are? We still have people that's down a block from us that's getting stopped by ICE and just thrown in a truck and getting deported,
Mhm.
and they don't have anything to do with what's going on.
Right.
And it's like, what are you guys doing? And what you said that you had an issue with seems to change. And then I'm gonna stop right
Yeah.
there.
Can I take it? Can I take it?
Yes,
I'll
he
pick
just
it up
Hail
from there.
Mary.
I appreciate you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, those are valid concerns.
Yeah,
Yeah,
They're
because
definitely valid.
you know your point is right about the Democratic Party making these mistakes, but
Mhm.
the reality is you can go back decades and look at the concept of how many of you are familiar with flyover states,
That part,
right?
Yes.
So this understanding, this idea that middle America was left behind. When you talk about
Mm.
Democrats not listening to people, the reason why Trump and the Republican Party have such a strong base is because they were not listened to for a very long
Mhm.
time.
That's right.
And it degenerates into this very right versus left argument.
Yeah.
Whereas if we had addressed it years ago, it wouldn't be so divisive. Now, mind you, America has always been divisive.
Yeah.
And
Right.
my opinion is that we've never stopped fighting the Civil War,
Mhm.
right? It's just gotten more polite in different ways.
That's right.
Right.
But where we are right now is a result of, you know, the left
Mhm.
not really listening to everybody and not making space for everybody.
And I would even add to that in saying that the Civil War we're fighting, it became more divisive between our own communities.
Mm.
And they are wagging a dog between us.
Mm.
Mhm.
And we have to be more conscious that, yo, we're fighting amongst our own communities. It wasn't that way.
Mhm.
We at the very least all, whether we liked each other or not, whether you was Malcolm or Martin, we still had the same fight. Now we fighting amongst each other. Now they're creating not only a generational divide that you clearly can see, they're creating a gender divide. They're creating a battle between the sexes. Venus versus Mars. They're dividing everything. And right in front of our eyes, and we don't see it, and it's unfortunate. And a lot of that has to do with my own party. Okay, yep.
Well, you remember what I said earlier about we live in a meritocracy, the
That's right,
idea
yeah.
that you can pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
Yeah.
What a lot of people don't know is that the origin of that phrase, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, was actually an example of an impossible thing.
That's right.
And we have flipped it on its head to think, well, yeah, you should be able to pull yourself up. So we're being told that you can do the impossible in this situation. And what's happening when you talk about the divide in our community, in our communities, whether that's Black or brown or disenfranchised or poor,
Yeah.
is that people just want a better position in the system that exists. They
Yeah.
don't want to get rid of the system,
Mhm.
right?
That's right.
And so, yeah, we're gonna fall apart. We're gonna divide each other because I see a way to get to the top, and I'm gonna go get mine. I'm gonna go get that bag,
That's right.
regardless of who it hurts. And so, 40 years ago, we were a little more consolidated because the opposition was there, the opportunities were not there.
Right.
But this is the reason why we see us divided.
Right. There you go. You could just take it down. Just stop it from recording. I got a lot of you. Right there. The camera fell off. It's all good.
Yeah. So, and me personally, I saw a lot of like, some people are excited and some people are just like, and some people are just like, she probably should have just stayed where she was. And I wish her well. I think she's awesome. I think she's really, really extremely intelligent. And I have my concerns too. I know it's a tough battle because the numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie. So we'll just see. We'll see. All right. So early in the show, we were, this is the last story, but early in the show, we had the conversation about AI and its advancements and the pros and cons.
Right.
And in today's society, AI is involved in everything, even in Google. So if you Google the phrase King of Beefs, AI's overall number one pick is 50 Cent, which is crazy.
Oh, wow.
King of Beefs.
you
might
type
be
in
kinda
like
right.
King of Beefs and 50 Cent is like, it has like choices. So it's like 3 and 50 Cent is like the first one.
Who else is on?
Well,
Tupac.
it was like 50 Cent and then who was it was, oh man, I should have wrote the other two down.
That's
It was
funny.
like,
I'm trying to think.
it was
Dang
like
Dash,
50
maybe?
Cent.
Hmm.
I should have wrote the other two down.
Mhm.
But anyway, 50 Cent now is kind of going back and forth with Marlon Wayans, if you haven't heard about that. But now Marlon Wayans has gotten himself caught up into this beef with 50 Cent after Marlon Wayans did this interview on Los Angeles 92, and it went viral after Marlon was asked about his thoughts on 50 Cent doing the Netflix documentary Sean Combs The Reckoning. So now 50 Cent is going around and he's doing like all this, this press run and you just see him all over the place and he's on everybody's, CBS and he's on the Sherry Show and he's everywhere and all you see is just him smiling, just being asked a question about the documentary. He's just smiling. Well, they asked Marlon what he thought about it, and then he's, it's going on, and he's like, just the way Puff is down on his luck, and 50 Cent is kicking this man while he's down. So, if luck is ever turned on 50 Cent, then you got to be careful what you put out. So, 50 Cent caught wind of it, and then he started to clap back
Do
at
his
Marlon.
50 Cent
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly. And then he was just like, oh, white chicks, Marlon Wayans from White Chicks, keep my name out your mouth. And then Marlon caught, he saw it and then he clapped back and he started sharing a picture of 50 Cent
In a hot
this-
tub.
Yeah, in the hot tub, and then he put up a picture of him with this film, 12 Years a Slave, and
Mhm.
you know, just this back and forth and all that. But then, what do you think? Because now Marlon is getting backlash about people saying like, "Well, we're not going to watch any of his films now."
He's
Like we're not watching White Chicks and we're not watching Scary Movie and all that because he threw his 2 cents. in.
First of all,
Should
he done already made his money off
Yeah.
of those films. So
and
he
those
ain't-
movies are over.
ain't nobody hurting his feelings with that.
Does he deserve like this backlash for saying?
I mean, I think because he went so deep into like almost like protecting, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like when
'cause-
you're in that eye like that, you do got to be mindful of what you say. Semantics matters. And I think when he made the comment about what you just said, the quote, it's like, well, okay, people are looking at the documentary now and saying, well, what about the victims? You know what I mean? And he was a part of the Diddy parties and all that stuff. So it's like, you know, like you're really like riding with this guy because of celebrityism type of thing. And I think people didn't like it. But as far as the funniness, honestly, I just saw the 150 put up with Friday.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god. It's definitely it's humorous.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's
you-
funny. I think
Mhm.
51, if there was a
If it was
a B
versus,
TKO, like
yeah.
he didn't even do TKO. He knocked him out. It was
right.
Hence the Google results. Why he number one. There you
Yeah.
go. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so does that mean AI really does work?
Yeah.
So 50 Cent pretty much K-dotted him.
Yeah.
Like,
He did. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he won.
Yeah. I like that. That was funny. That was cute, Sizzle.
All right. Well, I'm your girl Lauren Sizzle, and that was the sizzle.
Now, sizzle, ladies and gentlemen. No celebrity sizzle?
I don't know.
Not
She said,
today.
"Oh, no, not today." You want to think of one?
that
Think
was just well.
Think of something real quick.
The,
I know
the king of
Beyonce.
beef. Oh, I was
Beyonce,
gonna give
yeah.
it to the king of beef.
Oh yeah, the king of beef.
Okay. All right.
I mean,
All right, there you go. All right.
That
we
was
talk-
that was the good bad of,
Yeah, good bad.
of celebrity sizzle.
All right, so we talk weeklies after the talk on WPPMLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We talk weeklies after the talk with the boy Charles Gregory and the beautiful,
classy lady,
the beautiful.
Lauren
And this
Sizzle.
was We Talk Weekly, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure y'all tune in next week. Hold is it next week? That's the holiday, right?
the
Yeah.
19th.
I don't think we got. We got a show. I think we got a show.
Yeah, we
just
do.
tune in.
Yeah,
You'll
yeah,
hear
yeah,
about
yeah,
it.
yeah.
So we
Come
be
back.
out here, we out here like last year. Y'all peace.
Peace.
That's funny.